Corpse Party. It came out at a time where other great RPGs were still thriving. I'm talking Crooked Man, Witch's House, Yume Nikki, and Lisa. In the year of 2011, the Corpse Party we all know was released. Today, however, we're going over the anime adaptation, Corpse Party, which, by the way, isn't the name of an awful death metal band. Anyways, I remember watching this many years ago and I thought it was hilarious. And hey, maybe we can get a laugh at it. Let's go on an adventure and check it out. Hit the road, Jack. No, that's your wife. Stop it. Seriously, you can't do that. This is unacceptable behavior. What the fuck, Jack? Actually, that's a good question. Where are you? So we begin with our kinda but not really main character, Naomi, waking up in a haunted place. This paper is extremely important. Let me go back about 15 minutes where this tiny piece of paper ruined my life. So we go back about 15 minutes to see how exactly a tiny piece of paper ruined her life. And what we see is a group of kids having fun telling scary stories. Among them, Ayumi, the horror freak, is conspiring to scare all her friends with the teacher. I'm gonna sound real boomer here, but back in my days, we didn't get scared by ladyfingers. You know, we got scared by HIVs. It wasn't called a jump scare, it was called an HIV scare. So it turns out these kids are cleaning up after the school festival, and they just suddenly decided to bust out the scary stories. Among which, Ayumi mentions that the current school they're in was once an elementary school that had many tragic accidents happen. I think I found the ghost. So this little itty bitty child is Yuka, which is Satoshi's, our main character's, sister. And she came by to hand Satoshi an umbrella because it was raining hard. Daw, that's adorable. Unfortunately, I now know who's going to die. Actually, just to prove a point, here are all the characters. Yui, Ayumi, Yoshiki, Satoshi, Yuka, Naomi, Seiko, Mayu, and Marishiki. Okay, cool, now you have to remember them. I'm not gonna help you. Before they leave, Ayumi decides to do something a little special. They mention how a girl in the group, Mayu, is leaving the school. And for her friendship or something, she recommends they participate in the Sachiko charm. A charm that is all about ripping the limbs off a paper man. Everything is cute and all until, well... So we return to Naomi, who's just woken up and realized why she's here. A charm that isn't so charmingly got her and her friends to this specific haunted spot. She sees her friend Seiko and decides to wake her up. As it turns out, Seiko didn't perish within the fall. Unfortunately, no one does. Why? Because fuck you. Oh my god, did you see that? She really put 110% into that. I mean, she really did it all. No, but seriously, if you're ever so scared about where you are, maybe you throw that desk right next to you against the window. If you're worried that someone unfriendly might hear, maybe you could just ask your friend Seiko to help. You ever thought of that? Anyways, Naomi says she hears a voice, Seiko doesn't, and they decide to try another way to get out. During the fall, it appears that Naomi sprained her leg. Oh my god, there's a ghost! I never say this unironically, but I guess there's a first time for everything. Seiko, I hope you kill yourself. Oh my god, that's hilarious! She said ass medicine instead of hemorrhoid ointment. There's so much room for jokes. I'm not doing it though. I come up here and make actual jokes, right? You guys just sit there and judge me. You want to be the funny man? Here, take the mic, right? Do it. Let me see how you make the audience laugh, right? You think I want to be known as a funny guy, huh? This YouTube personality, it's fake. The voice I'm putting on, it's fake. All I want is views so I can profit off the work of underpaid Japanese workers. After all this, am I still the villain, huh? Seiko and Naomi are walking around when they notice the entrance, but something is off. The shoes at the entrance are for small people, like children. Like this is an elementary school. Look at this, they're trapped in a haunted school and they refuse to be savages. I mean, even if you're a hostage, you have to remember that you're still technically a guest at someone's place. Very proper and decent women. So I guess pushing doors apparently makes girls tired, so they decide to find a place to rest. And like an idiot, Seiko forgets her important piece of paper in the bathroom. Duh, that's not how you paint the walls. Naomi escapes from some random ghost encounter, sees Seiko, and then gets really angry at her for no reason. And apparently Seiko has never seen anyone upset, because she sits there like, "No, this is impossible. The real Naomi would never say this." Seiko runs away, and Naomi quickly realizes she messed up. What? You know, I wasn't actually serious when I said to kill yourself. How did she even get the rope? Was it already inside the bathroom? Why would you pull on the rope? What in God's name made you think that was okay? She also bolts for a bucket? Why? You could have just held her up. Maybe do the dad move, have her on your shoulders. It'd be real cute. Hey, what's with that face, Seiko? Why don't you just live a little? Oh God, she's dead, right? Okay, I'm sorry, Leigh. I don't mean to cut you off, but who are you? She just comes out of nowhere and consoles Naomi. Maybe you could, throw a hey before you try showing empathy? And also, how come Naomi didn't ask if she tried to, help save the girl? Naomi can only assume she was just sitting there watching it. Are we going to get any more from the scene? No? Cool. Okay, so I'm going to blaze through a good chunk of this because it's mostly just exposition this episode through this creepy lady. Throughout this episode, she explains that it's impossible to escape. The only thing you can do is wait. And moreover, waiting in this world is not the best choice because you're easily susceptible to your killing instincts. At the same time, Satoshi exposits the murders that took place in the school, and it's revealed that this is actually Heavenly Host Elementary School. And also Yuka wants to pee, so they go looking for a bathroom, but the only one available isn't available. They go down a hall and they see Morishiki taking pictures of a dead corpse, which isn't something to be alarmed by, I guess. When they meet him, he seems to be fixated on the corpse, but more importantly, he warns Satoshi about the ghosts of children that kill. On the other side, Ayumi is freaking her shit out, but it's for a reasonable reason, and that's because she's getting harassed by a ghost kid. Anyways, class must have been starting or something because he went bolting out of there and decided to spare her life. This lady from before shows up to alarm these kids. From Ayumi's handy prior knowledge, it's shown that this creepy ghost lady is Naho, a blog writer known for writing the Sachiko charm, and that's it. She was known for writing a fucking DIY blog post. Anyways, Naho has some important information to info dump again. Apparently the World of Corpse Party has multiple closed spaces. This means that if two people are in the same room of the school, they're unable to see or interact with each other. She finally gives the kids advice, that is to appease the spirits of the ghost kids. This will allow them to open up all the spaces and go back home. On the other side of the universe, the teacher and Mayu are together, and the teacher comes back to see Mayu and the kids interacting. She tells Mayu to quit playing with the kids, and then this amazing scene happens. So she's just gonna splatter into the wall like that? Oh, okay. Maybe Newton's laws should have applied at the job fair because it's not working here. She should have maybe, flew into the wall and cushioned her fall, not splatter like a goddamn watermelon. And as if that wasn't enough, another random dude comes from nowhere and kills a teacher. Now it's important that I actually mention this since the anime doesn't really like telling you about the characters. But this guy that hit the teacher is named Yoshikazu. And if you don't know, which you don't know if you've never played the games, he is a teacher and his dad was the principal. And more importantly, he's told to have murdered the kids in Heavenly Host, which is the elementary school they're in. Moreover, you'll realize that this episode so far, and the future episodes, jump around a lot between the characters. And this is because there's way too much characters. I mean, to even try to get you to care for some of these characters, death is a necessity in my opinion. It's just too hard to care for everyone when you only have 4 episodes. So by the end of it, they only try to get you to care for a handful. After just witnessing that scene with Mayu, it's almost as if the story killed her off because there's already too much people to care for. And even the teacher, she barely gets any screen time for me to even care for her. Most of the times, I actually even forget she took part in the Sachiko charm. And from looking at how they treated these two in Seiko, I think these 3 just had to be the quick scapegoats for us to care about a few select people later on. So anyways, Murashiki seems to be going crazy, and it doesn't seem to help that he realized that the insides he found earlier was actually from his girlfriend, Mayu. We're back to Satoshi, and Red Dress Girl appears from out of nowhere. Like an idiot, he follows her. Now, do you remember when I told you that Murashiki said to be aware of ghost kids that kill? Yeah, no, I don't remember that either. What? So, Satoshi and Yuka are no longer together because of some sort of, door trickery magic. On the other side of the universe, we're back with Yoshiki and Ayumi. They decide to leave behind the candle to signal to their friends in the other dimension that, like a real high schooler would when they write on the teacher's board, they was here. And also, this doll recites the murderer's confessions, so that's something we gotta look out for.
Huh?
Oh my goodness, that's just extremely unlikely for it to have happened. Yet it did, and that's stupid. They actually find a human tongue, kid comes back, they tussle a bit, and he finally gets his tongue back. Also, it turns out that the doll detects tongues, which they have to use to let the kids pass over to the next life. And you know what? Ayumi and Yoshiki actually return the tongues back and are only missing one for a girl named Sachiko. It's the same Sachiko that we're all thinking of. This also now means that any of the characters at this point can interact with each other now, since they've appeased all the kids and opened all the closed spaces. Yeah, I think this specifically is a big issue in the series. This OVA is jam-packed, and every little thing is extremely purposeful. The fact that Yoshiki got scared kinda eases me in with security, and at the same time we find out that we're getting confessions from the murderer, and that the ghost kids are looking for their tongues. And we know that the doll gets louder when these two are getting closer to the tongues. While this seems to be good, it often comes across really goofy. In this case, it makes it seem as if Yoshiki crashing into the wall because he was scared led to a huge part regarding the ghosts. And what's more is that if you'll recall earlier this episode when Naho appears to console Naomi, the scene really has no merit. It just quickly continues on from last episode, introduces the ghost lady, and then continues on as quick as possible. The purpose of it is to help us get into this next episode with footage that's familiar, but it's also to introduce a character that will be extremely important. As you can see, these interactions are purposeful. It's just that sometimes they come across really unnecessary because of how confined all the details are, some of which we don't realize until after the scene is finished, like with the reveal of the tongues, or even the importance of Naho increasing in the next scene with Ayumi. Anyways, let's continue. So we're back with Yuka, and she, comes across this. Yeah, this right here, yeah, very crazy thing to do. Not because you're probing the inside of either a black lady or a really old corpse's head using a crowbar, but that you still somehow find blood in it. So, anyways, DW starts running away from the scary psychopathic crowbar man, and she actually successfully escapes from him, probably because he refuses to run. Okay, I'm sorry, man. Can you, back up? I'm trying to get away from some dude holding a crowbar like he's gonna use it as a credit card on a goddamn Black Friday at Macy's. He's like the biggest fear Dora has when going into a convenience store, cause all he does is swipe. So this is Kizami Yuya, a sophomore at some random school that doesn't matter, and he's looking for his sister. Which is funny cause Yuka is looking for her brother. Anyways, they're walking a bit until they come across Mr. Villain again. And what happens next is one part hilarious and the other part kind of distressing.
Yuka-chan wa koko ni ite.
He just carved into him like he would a pumpkin. Is he also planning to carve his initials into the guy's throat? Because that was unnecessarily brutal. I feel like if these kids were not here, he would actually attempt to make a human jack-o'-lantern. Wait, what's going on? And that's how you end an episode! Woo! So you're probably in suspense of episode 2. You probably even want to know what happened with Yuka. It's, not that interesting, but we'll get into it. This episode starts off by jumping around our main characters just as the last episode. Some sort of earthquake happens and the ceiling starts collapsing. So let's blaze past the boring stuff. Naomi gets a call from her mom, but her mom can't hear her. Also, some random dude keeps asking Naomi to help him.
Hello, I need to speak to somebody who can speak Chinese.
So anyways, Yuka is running away from crazed Noctis when Red Dress Girl comes to help Yuka. At the same time, the guy who killed the teacher from before decides to give this kooky individual a whacking. Satoshi also finds out that Red Dress Girl is actually Sachiko. He also finds a videotape claiming to know a way out of the world. Also, Naho comes to pay Satoshi a visit, and like a spy garbage collector who's being questioned, she info dumps as always. Anyways, she tells him that everyone is all here because someone messed up the ritual. And then she teleports him to see his sister. But before we get back to Satoshi, we have to find out what happened to Ayumi and Yoshiki during the earthquake. Okay, so I'm going to go over this really quickly because it takes up most of the episode despite it being kinda stupid. Ayumi and Yoshiki are returned to the real world, but because of some really stupid specific ghost rule, Girly over here was only allowed to bring these two back. However, she can't bring back all their friends. However, if Ayumi and Yoshiki go back and put all the souls to rest by getting the confession out of the murderer, they'll be set free. So you're probably like, wait, didn't they already get the confessions out of the murderer? Well, here's the thing. They give us a better glimpse as to how the murders were performed. And in this kind of but not really flashback, we find out that the murderer was actually Sachiko, and that the teacher, Yoshikazu, was just an assistant all this time. Yeah, believe it or not, the teacher helped assist the murders because he was scared of Sachiko. You know what? If a ghost threatens to beat your ass, it probably can. But you have to remember right now, Sachiko is within a tiny-ass elementary school student. Yoshikazu at this point could have punched Sachiko half a football field away. And I'm sorry for the spoilers, but... But Satoshi actually puts up a good fight against Sachiko. And he's a scaredy cat. But it's a horror, so it's cool, I guess. You gotta do what you gotta do, I understand. So Ayumi and the little girl go back to Heavenly Host Elementary to save the rest, while Yoshiki just sorta sits there. On the other side of the Heavenly Host, Satoshi meets up with Naomi. That's it. So anyways, we find out that Yuka is in trouble, and that's because Sachiko has finally decided to try and murder Yuka. Duh, that's not how you paint the floors. Somehow Yuka actually escapes from Sachiko, mainly because she just stands there and laughs. I don't mean to be that kind of guy, but like, half your face is gone? Did you wake up and see it in the mirror today? Did you lose the other half? Secondly, how are you even alive? And also, you're a fucking liar. You were not looking for Yuka, alright? You were too busy trying to be a goddamn human anatomy body model used for kids in science classes. So anyways, everyone hears Yuka's cries and they decide to run towards it. And on the other side, poor little Yuka has gotten stabbed and has one less eye now. As Kizami is going for the final blow, Yoshiki comes out of nowhere and literally bats Kizami's head off. But also, Teacher Man comes out of nowhere and decides to tussle with him. Now let me pause this for a second. If Yoshiki got closed out from going back into Heavenly Host when Ayumi and the little girl left, then how did he come back? Did the ghost girl come back to let him transport to Heavenly Host again? I mean, it kind of explicitly mentioned that only the ghost girl can do that. Did he do the Sachiko charm again? What did he do? Anyways, Yoshiki and Yoshikazu, I know the names make it hard to know who's who, are battling when Yoshiki realizes Ayumi is here. So he tells Ayumi to save Yuka while he fends off the offender. Solid way to a man's heart. I felt that. Well, not really, but he definitely did. Okay, you didn't have to fucking show that, alright? I have my mind set on a lot of things, but the floor is not one. So anyways, Satoshi, Ayumi, Naomi, and Yuka all run away from the killer, which I swear they should have just ran away from the guy from the start. And what we see here is kind of a somber moment, where Satoshi holds his sister while she slowly dies. Episode 4 is just jam-packed with information, and mostly information to just patch up Sachiko and her weird past. Episode 4 starts off with the remaining living crew watching the videotape Satoshi found from way before, and in it they see Naho strangling a man. This man is her mentor, Kibiki. They both found a way into the school and they both died within it. The only way to get out now is by getting a confession out of Sachiko, and finally using their charms to get back to the real world. Turns out Naho has been lying on her blog about the Sachiko charm and created it for Kibiki. That way she can lead people to, doom? I don't know. Anyways, Ayumi talks to Naho about this and tells her it is wrong. And this makes Naho really upset because she disappears. And probably dies for good. Okay, so the entire episode they try to tell us the story of Sachiko. Basically, the principal kills her mom, Sachiko sees this, he kills Sachiko. Sachiko doesn't like being dead, so she comes back to haunt the principal. The principal is afraid Sachiko is going to say something, so to shut her up in her afterlife, he cuts her tongue off. After still getting pestered by the ghost of Sachiko, he goes crazy and kills himself by jumping off the roof of the school. Sachiko comes back now in her fully ghosted self and starts to kill kids to make her mother's soul happy. She also collects tongues because her tongue was cut out. That's the only reason. I don't really get it. From here, we have to start assuming she started pestering Yoshikazu, who was the principal's son. And she actually got him to help her with the murders. But yeah, that's her stupid story. Let's get back to the real story. Turns out the teacher is still alive, and she meets up with Ayumi, and then dies. I swear I didn't make that up. She's like the Avdol of Corpse Party because she faked dying just so that she could actually die. Naomi sees Seiko getting her tongue ripped out and starts a trial. What's a trial? I don't fucking know, and the studio didn't either. I feel like they just threw this in for literally no other reason than to confuse the audience. But yeah, she's so entrenched within bad juju that she can't come back into the real world with it because she would be a hazard to everyone. She has to essentially face her own demons. And in it we find out that Naomi was actually the one who killed Seiko. She was overtaken by the demon lords and got possessed and killed Seiko. And frankly, I would too. Anyways, it seems like she's going to become black, but she says she loves Seiko one last time, and she's saved. On the other side of the universe, Ayumi and Satoshi have confronted Sachiko, and while they're doing their stupid little thing, Sachiko stabs Satoshi. Also, she's about to make a scoop for his eyes. Oh, that's really nice of you to ask, but no, I'm good. I kinda like breathing. So anyway, Satoshi actually gets Sachiko to listen and they actually calm her soul, to which both Sachikos go to heaven or something, I'm not really sure. Sachiko disappearing has now made it so that the school is starting to fall apart. Gee, something seems off, but I can't seem to put my finger on it. Lend me a hand, will ya?
わかった。じゃあ行くぞ。幸子さんお願いします。
幸子さんお願いします。幸子さんお願いします。幸子さんお願いします。
Oh. Yeah, I'm there right now. Look, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. All right, I just like. No, I thought it was all about me. Yeah, but shouldn't I come before everyone else? It's my show, isn't it? Alright, alright. Just, oh. Yeah, oh, hello, oh, hold on. I have to go. Alright, I'll see you.